In Confucianism, the most important roles you must obey is parents to child, older sibling to younger sibling, husband to wife, and friend to friend. If you follow these rules, you could reach a life of peace and harmony. The highest social group consisted of educated officials called the Shi. The second highest we call the Nongs consisted of farmers and peasants. The third was a Gong of highest with craftsmen and artisans, and the Shang who lived off others like shopkeepers and bankers. Education was only for the most wealthiest families, and it was split into three groups.
Before opium was introduced to China, people used it to cure minor sicknesses. But when it was introduced, people started using it recreationally throughout all social classes. The British wanted to trade silk and spices with the Chinese, but they didn't have a product to. And they also didn't have enough silver to trade, so the British Trading Company went to India. And over there, they discovered poppy plants, which is processed into opium. And when they brought that to China, it was a big hit. And they first brought 20,000 chests of opium, which is 1,400 tons. And the government confiscated all 20,000 of those chests. And the British responded by sending gunboats, and this started the first Opium War in 1839. Before that, the Chinese government tried to appeal to the British government, but they were ignored, so that's why they confiscated the opium. The Chinese were defeated because the British technology was way ahead of their time and they could not keep up. The Chinese government saw how opium was really affecting their population, so they made it illegal. But smugglers and store owners in China would still import it illegally, and annually 40,000 chests of opium would still be imported every single year. And the British government made them sign treaties which ended the war, but it had no benefit for the Chinese, only to make the British government stronger in China.
The British and Chinese representatives to form a treaty and to establish more detailed regulations. The treaties of 1842 and 1843 left many unsettled issues. For example, they did not resolve the status on the opium trade.